Hello everyone. Today we're looking at bento heads. So there's been some controversy in the forums and around Second Life over what these new bento heads will be able to do. So I decided to do some testing. And no matter how the avatar gets rigged, almost, with Bento, there is going to be customization pretty much no matter what. Okay, so the first example I'm going to show is a head with bones that I did with all custom joint positions and animations that use mostly translation. Okay, so this is the setup that everybody said can't work because there's translations going on. But even with this head, this is the default right now, even with this head, as I change through these different shapes I've created, you'll see customization going on. Okay, so, and there can be pretty extreme customization. Now I think I have to reset my face there. Okay, so test number 5. In every single one of these, there's customizations. So no matter how the avatar gets made, there will be some sliders that are going to work. Okay, so that was a head with joint positions and translation and all the animations. Okay, so here is a head that everyone keeps suggesting, and for this head it's only using rotations. It uses the default positions of the bones in the face, and it only uses rotation in the animations. So, and as we cycle through these different shapes, you can see there's quite a bit more customization going on, a little bit more than just what we saw with translations. So even to the point of this, and yes, animations do work across pretty much all heads. There is some problems with certain things, like I think if you see with this one, I have random animations playing, and she should blink at some point. She doesn't blink all the way here. So everything can't be totally perfect, but it's pretty amazing at how everything does work so well together with all these different heads. So let's go back to the default. Now, what I said about the problem with using only rotations with animations is you get some pretty horrific facial expressions. Now, this doesn't look too bad. It's pretty bad if you look into the cheeks and everything. It's just not really good when you compare it to an animation with bone translation. This angry one doesn't look too bad. This worry is okay, I guess. I tried to pick ones that would kind of work. I have disgust here, so it's working. Doesn't look great though. So as I was doing this testing, I realized that I didn't just have the option of rotations only or translations only. I could actually make an animation where some bones are using only rotation and some bones are using translation. So I thought to myself, it's kind of obvious in this smile, and there's lots of different animations, expressions that only rotations can't do. Lots of them. Anything that kind of involves complex movements of the lips. So I started thinking about, well, how could I have customization, as much customization as possible with the avatar, but still get decent facial expressions. And I kind of came to the conclusion that the mouth does need to be taken over, because there's so many different animations that you could make if you took over the mouth. And that's kind of the area that even looks so bad in this smile, is the mouth is just, there's just something about it that's not right. And the same goes for the cheeks. So you'll see here the cheeks are kind of like, you have to rotate them, so they're kind of weird looking. And, you know, somebody looking at this might say that that doesn't look that weird, but when you compare it to a really nice smile, it does look weird. Okay, so I decided to make a head that uses both rotations and translations. So this is my Bento head RT, and I'll cycle through some of these shapes, and you'll see that most of them are keeping almost all. See there, I have a jaw out of place there. I have to reset my jaw. Most of these are keeping all of their customizations done to them. And there's a reason for that, though, because the only bones I'm taking over are the lips and the cheeks. But the quality of animation that comes out of doing it this way is miles ahead of only using rotations. Look at that smile. That is a better smile. Look at how those cheeks are forming. Okay, and look at just the range of good animations that you can do. And mind you, also, this is just the default head that I'm playing around with. I just took the default head, played around with the weights, got them somewhat working. Even these weights aren't totally perfect yet. And with a better head, more geometry on the head, you'll have a better range of animations, and they'll look a lot better. There is a pucker, which you will not be able to do if you use rotation only. Here's another with bloated cheeks that you would never be able to do with rotation only. Surprise, anger, frightened, back to smile. But you'll notice that, I mean, they're all really nice animations. And they play really well across these different avatars, these different shapes. And I'll do random. We'll do another shape here. Play how these animations go. We'll see how they play. And let's try some other shapes here. Let's reset my jaw. That looked a little weird there. Surprise. But it's just a crazy amount of customization that can be done. I think I lost my... And we'll take a quick look at the sliders. I created every slider into their own shape. That way I could check everything. And there's only a few, even though I'm overriding the lips, I'll show you here, and I'll even do one. Even though I'm overriding the lips, you still get lip ratio, You still get lip thickness, lip fullness. So there is customization you can do on the lips, even though I'm overriding them. The cheeks are the same. You can still make the upper cheek larger. You can make the lower cheek larger or smaller. But you can't raise or lower the cheek using this rig that I set up. Well, I say you can't, but you can do it with animation. So even though you can't do it with the slider, you can easily make an animation override system that works behind everything and allows you to allow your customer to move the cheeks up or down, or the lips forward or back, or wider or smaller. You could do that all with animation too. So using this system, you're not limited at all. It's just how you go about using it, and you get the best facial expressions that you can have. So let me go into Blender here and show you what I'm talking about here. Let me select the rig. So here's the rig that I set up for using both rotation and translation. So I'm using, I have the cheeks here, and I actually have them set up as bone groups. So I have my lips that I'm using translation on. So I can select all those. I have my cheekbones, which I'm using translation on. So with one animation, I'm using both translation on all of these, and then only rotation on the rest of the face bones. And I'm not touching at all things like the chin, nose base, bridge. I'm not touching those at all because I don't need those to animate with. This inside ear or eye bone, I don't use that. I don't need to use that to animate with. So I don't use those bones at all in my animations. And that allows those to still use the sliders and everything with everything else. But that's basically how I set up this rig, and I'll show you some animation and how this works. So here, face, lip, upper center. If I show you the keyframes in here, you can see I have location here and rotation. Now scale doesn't get exported out, so we don't have to worry about that. But now on these other bones, like the eyebrow, inner eyebrow, you'll see, oh, this is wrong. Let me go to an animation I'm doing right here. Here we go. So on one of these bones that I'm only using rotation, see there's no translation, there's no location information. I had to take it out of the animation, and then when I go to or export the animation, I have to use with bone translation. But that location won't show up. It won't override. So the sliders will still work with this. So this is pretty much what I've been playing around with, and I'm really happy that I did do this because I'm going to use this knowledge with some of my other avatars that aren't human. So it'll work good with them too, and they'll be more customizable. But this is a look at the Bento avatar, and have a good one, everyone.